Creating digital products is easier now more than ever with the help of AI, but knowing how to sell your product is where most people get stuck. So in this video, I'm going to break down how to actually sell your digital products consistently, starting with this very first thing that most people ignore, which is actually having people to sell to. Now, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're selling on Stan Store, Etsy, or any other platform for your digital products. If you do not have people to sell to, you will not make sales. Now, while everyone is telling you that you need some fancy sales funnel or some mile-long email sequence, at the end of the day, if people don't know you exist, there is no way that they can buy your product. So you have to have people to sell to. And having been selling digital products since 2017 and literally doing online marketing for the past 15 years, I can tell you that there are only three main ways to get traffic. And I've tried all three, having done this for a long time. And I can tell you the third one that I want to share is the best one. So let's talk about how to actually get traffic to your digital products so that you can start making sales. Now, the first way that you're going to get traffic to your digital products is to borrow traffic. Now, borrowing traffic literally just means getting on a platform where there is a built-in audience. So we're talking about platforms like Etsy or Amazon KDP, different places where people are already going to make purchases. This is what I call borrowing your traffic. And this is where most people start. I've sold on Etsy, I've sold on Amazon, I've done all the things, right? This is where most people get started because they may not have an audience, or they've been sold this idea that this is the easiest way to get started and to sell your digital products. Now, although it comes with an ease of starting and this built-in audience, at the end of the day, you still have to market. Just because you're on these platforms does not automatically mean that you're going to get sales and you're going to get customers. It just gives you the opportunity to be able to make sales with the existing audience that is built into these platforms. But there are two problems that come into play when you are borrowing someone else's traffic or someone else's audience. One, like I said, it doesn't guarantee you sales, but if and when you do make sales, you don't own that customer. Now, when I say you don't own the customer, I simply mean that you don't own any information about them. You don't have their email address, and if you do by chance find their email address in the system, you don't have the permission to market to them. You can't then sell them additional products. You can't market to them outside of the platform. The platform owns all the information about the customer, so you don't know who bought your product, you don't know why they bought it, and you have no way of getting in contact with them again to sell them more products that could solve their problem. So that is the downside of being on a borrowed platform or borrowing someone else's traffic. You do not own the information, and so you're stuck there. And so when you're ready to grow, when you're ready to sell more products, when you're ready to actually interact and market to those people who purchase from you, you don't have that ability. So although it may seem easy to start with, there's no guarantee that you're actually going to make the sale. And at the end of the day, you don't own the customer. You are borrowing the audience, you're borrowing the platform, you're borrowing the space. And at the end of the day, they can raise the fees, they can raise the rates, and they can even shut down your shop if they so simply feel like it. And like I said, I've sold on Etsy and I've sold on Amazon. And I know this to be true for many people. Borrowing your audience, borrowing your traffic is a great way to start, but it is not a long-term strategy. So borrowing your traffic has its limits. So let's talk about the next way, which is a lot better, but also has its limitations. And that second way to get traffic is to buy traffic. Now, when I talk about buying traffic, I simply mean running ads. So this can be your Meta ads on Facebook or Instagram. It can even be YouTube ads, TikTok ads, wherever your audience hangs out, you're able to buy that traffic. You're able to pay to get in front of those people and to get that visibility. Now, here's the thing. Ads can absolutely work. I have spent tens of thousands of dollars running ads, and I've been able to make multiple thousands of dollars as a result of that. And I will say ads work if you have a validated offer, if you know who your target audience is, if your messaging is on point, if your audience targeting is on point, if everything is aligned, ads will work for you, which means this isn't ideal for someone who's just beginning. So if you don't know if your product will actually sell organically, if you don't know who your ideal customer is, if you have not dialed any of that in, ads are not going to work for you. They're just going to be an expensive lesson that you learn whether or not your product is good. And so maybe if you have the money to test out and try, great, run ads. It could be a quick experiment that you can run so that you can get the data and iterate faster. However, if you are just beginning and you don't have funds to just put into ads, it's not going to be the best place to start. So although ads do work, they require that you be really dialed in and that you actually know that your product is going to sell. And if you're just starting out, out, you don't know if your product is going to sell. So here's the thing about ads. Ads will amplify what is working and they will magnify what's not working. So if you are just a beginner and you have not validated whether or not your product is going to sell organically, I do not recommend ads. Although they do work, they are something that I believe is for someone who is more advanced. So if borrowing your audience leaves you without ownership of your customer, and if buying your traffic is going to cost you and you have to have a little bit more experience, what is the best way to actually get traffic to sell your digital products? So this is the best way. After over a decade online and selling digital products since 2017, I can tell you that the best way to get traffic to your digital products is to build your traffic, to build your audience. You want to build your audience by creating content around the problem that your product solves. Now, after 15 years of online marketing and trying every social media platform out there, I can without a doubt say the best platform to build an audience and to generate traffic to your digital products is going to be YouTube. And here's the thing. Unlike the other social media platforms out there, you don't have to go viral. Literally, all you need to do is create 1 to 2 long form videos per week around the problem that your product actually solves. So if, for instance, I have a personal finance channel, if I want to sell my budgeting template, then I'm going to create content around budgeting, how to budget, how to come up with a family budget, how often to budget. And I'm going to use that as an opportunity to sell my digital product, which would be a budgeting template. If you are someone who sells meal plans, then you would literally create videos around meal planning and meal prepping and the meals that you're making for your family and time that is saving in order to sell your meal plan digital product. So YouTube is very simple in that you literally just create 1 to 2 videos a week around the problem that your product solves, and that's going to generate traffic from people who are looking for those answers. And as you begin to get that visibility and people on your videos, this is how you're able to actually sell your digital products. So within those videos, you're going to include what's called a call to action. You're going to literally infuse your product within the video and direct people to the checkout page, and knowing that it's the natural next best step for solving their problem. So if I'm making a video around budgeting, I'm going to let people know, hey, by the way, if you want my budgeting template that's already done for you, click the link in the description or comment budget to get a copy of my budgeting template. That is literally how you sell your digital products. Create content around the problem that it solves and direct people to the digital product as the next best step. Now, here's the part where most people get confused. They think that they need some complicated funnel, some landing page, some long sales page, and all the bells and whistles in order to sell. You simply need to direct people to your checkout page. That's it. Not Linktree links, not a landing page, not a long drawn out sales page, to the checkout page where they can put in their payment information and actually buy the product. Because at this point, as they're watching your video, as they're engrossed in the information that you're sharing, they already trust you enough to make the purchase. So why make them wait any longer, or why confuse them? Send them directly to the checkout page where they can put in their information and actually purchase the product. This is the simplest way to sell your digital products. You are literally creating content around the problem, driving people to the checkout page, and they are making the purchase. And as they're making this purchase, you're building your email list, you're building that internal audience that you can then sell more products to and be able to generate sales on a more consistent basis. Now, if you want my full breakdown on my YouTube strategy, how to come up with content ideas, what to include, my script template, all those things, I will leave the link for my Viral Views Toolkit in the description of this video for you to check out. And that's going to break down exactly how to leverage YouTube to sell your digital products, how to get that traffic from this platform. Like I said, bar none, the best platform to sell your digital products and to build an audience. Because the thing about YouTube is that your videos are going to continue to be shown year after year. I literally have watched videos that are 9 years old and they are still relevant, right? So I'm going to leave the link for my Viral Views Toolkit that breaks down my complete process for creating YouTube videos that get views and ultimately get sales. So check the description for my Viral Views Toolkit. Now, here's the thing. No matter how you get traffic, whether you borrow it, whether you buy it, or whether you build it, you're going to have to make sure you're sending people to a sales funnel that is going to be simple enough for them to make a purchase. So again, I've already mentioned that within your videos, you're going to send people directly to a checkout page. After that, The next thing that they just need is a thank you page and an email confirming their purchase and giving them the link to access it. That is all you need. You need a simple sales funnel that doesn't overcomplicate things. You don't have to have a long drawn out sales funnel. You don't have to have a long sales page. You don't have to have any of the things that most gurus are telling you to do. You simply need three things: a checkout page, a thank you page, and an email confirmation with their access link. Now, if you want to know how to build out this simple sales system completely free for people to actually buy your product, for you to get them on your email list so that you can market to them, check out this next video where I break down my exact sales funnel and I walk you through how to build your own.